Would you like to have your own fruit tree orchard? I know I sure would, but let's be honest. Most of us don't have the time, space, or enough water to care for 50 or more individual trees. My little garden, the windmill garden, is off-grid. It's irrigated by a windmill and a storage tank. That storage tank only holds about 2,000 gallons of water. The tank is constantly refilled by the windmill, but it's not a lot of water. My garden space is limited. The fence around my garden is 60 by 60 foot square. That's pretty close to the size of a suburban backyard, and I can only sustain about 8 or 9 trees inside here. But I still want all the interesting and rare apple and pear varieties, the varieties you can't buy at the supermarket, and varieties that are adapted to this region. So how can we grow many types of apples and pears, or whatever type of fruit you're into? The answer is grafting. Grafting different varieties of fruit into one tree turns that tree into an orchard. Pretty cool. In this video, we're going to talk about the structure of an apple tree. We're going to go over winter versus summer pruning. I'll demonstrate the open center pruning style. Then we'll walk step by step through a whip and tongue graft. We'll harvest scion wood from our pruning cuts. I'll use that for grafting this coming spring. And then we'll talk about where you can find your own scion wood to create your own one tree orchard. If that sounds good to you, stick around. Let's get to it. The structure of a fruit tree. Let's start with the bottom half, the part you never see, but is doing all the real work, the rootstock. Selected for low or high vigor, the rootstock controls the size of your fruit tree. 3 main types: dwarf, semi-dwarf, and standard. Now let's talk about the top part, the scion. The scion is the variety of fruit you want: Honeycrisp, Arkansas Black, Gold Rush, whatever. When making a graft, the branch you cut is the rootstock, and the variety you graft in is the scion. The cool thing about scion wood is it grows true to variety. If you cut a stick from a Granny Smith branch and graft it onto another tree, the fruit will still be Granny Smith. But if you plant a Granny Smith seed, you are not getting a Granny Smith tree. You are getting a wild, unpredictable seedling that will probably make hard cider apples. Johnny Appleseed, John Chapman, 1774 to 1845, had a very clear and principled view on grafting. He opposed it. Chapman believed trees should be grown from seed. To him, every seed carried God's intention and deserved to grow in its own form. Back in Chapman's time, cider apples were very important. Hard cider and vinegar were valued commodities. But today, most of us are interested in growing dessert apples. So scion wood preserves the variety. It's the only way we still have historic apples from 150 years ago. And grafting is how you can have any variety you want in your own garden, your own little orchard. Let's talk pruning. There are 2 main pruning seasons. Winter pruning. Do this around the winter solstice. Promotes vigorous spring and summer growth. Summer pruning. Done around the summer solstice. Summer pruning slows the tree's growth down. Today I'm winter pruning. The first thing I like to remove is crisscross branches and anything dead or damaged. Be mindful of your old grafts. Don't prune them out. I like to prune and shape my trees in the open center style. Think of this like a wine glass or chalice. The center is open so light can pour into the middle of the tree. That light creates better fruit, and it helps with airflow, which lessens disease. I learned this style from watching Stephen Hayes on the FruitWise YouTube channel. He has many good pruning and grafting videos. It's probably best to keep your fruit trees about 7 feet tall. That way you won't have to use a ladder. My trees are going to work double duty though. I want shade also. And there's the final product. All the branches have a lot of room and that center is open. I remember watching an old FruitWise video years ago. Stephen said you should be able to throw your hat through a tree that's pruned open center. Yes! When I prune in the winter, I also harvest scion wood. I look for last year's growth, about the thickness of a pencil, and I cut these pieces about 8 inches long. These scion sticks will be placed in Ziploc bags with a damp paper towel. Damp, not wet. Make sure to wring almost all the water out of that paper towel. Too much water will grow mold. Wrap your scion sticks with that damp paper towel. Then they'll be bagged up in the Ziploc bags. Those will be stored in the fridge until spring. Check your scion bags now and then during the winter. If there's any mold on that paper towel, throw it out and put in a new one. Sleep tight, little sticks. I'll get you out in the spring. Here's what some of my past grafts look like today. I hope that you're excited and wondering where you can order your own scion wood. Do some research on the web and find an online nursery that you like. My scion wood came from Fedco. Fedco Trees has a lot of rare and unique apple and pear varieties to choose from. I've collected and grafted about 18 varieties onto my 2 apple trees here at the Windmill Garden. I'll be researching apple varieties this winter, then I'll collect and graft in my new varieties this spring. electrical tape, a sharp utility knife, and some pruners. That's all you need to graft. Disinfect your tools while you're grafting with alcohol. Now let's do a grafting demonstration. I'm lining my sticks up, my rootstock, and my scion. I want the same diameter. Cut the scion in a spot that matches the rootstock by diameter. That looks pretty good. I found this old leather belt in the ranch tack room. It'll protect my leg from being cut. And now we're going to pull an angled cut into that rootstock with our utility knife. Pull the stalk if you can. It's harder when it's on the tree, but pull it in to the knife. Let the knife do the work. And that's not very good. Did you see that curve in that cut? You want a nice straight cut. It's all right. We'll just do it again. Looking better. They say you're not supposed to whittle your stick. I always do, and the grafts take fine. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Nice and straight. Now we'll line up our scion with our rootstock. We'll get a measurement, then we can cut the scion. The scion's always easier to cut because it won't be attached to the tree. You can definitely pull that into the knife. Yeah, a little whittling. Remember, I'm no expert. I'm just a redneck who likes to garden. I'm making this video to show you how easy grafting is. It might sound scientific and complicated, but it's not. If I can do this, so can you. Now I'm going to knock off the corners to make a rounded fit. I'll do that on the rootstock also. Looks like a pretty good fit. When you're doing this, pay attention to that green layer just under the bark. That's the cambium, and that's where all the magic happens. That's where sap flows and cells grow and divide, and that's where the graft heals together. Now I'm cutting the tongue. This will help lock the graft together. Make a matching tongue cut on the rootstock. Be careful when doing this. Just rock the knife back and forth and let it do the work. You can get cut doing this. And that's it. Our rootstock and scion are cut. Now we can see how they fit together. Slide the scion onto the rootstock and make sure those tongues overlap and connect. When putting a graft together, you want that green cambium layer to line up perfectly, to match up. One side will work, but two is better. And that looks pretty good to me, good enough for ranch work. Now we're going to tape that graft up tight. I've got my electrical tape sticky side down on the stick. Now I'm going to flip it sticky side up. I flipped the tape because in the past I've had trouble with the sticky side pulling the bark off. The grafts still work, but it does damage them a little bit. I wasn't smart enough to figure this out myself. I learned this trick from watching the YouTube channel Skill Cult. The tape will pull everything tight. It'll lock those two cambium layers together so they can heal. It'll also seal the graft from moisture. And that's it. That's a graft. Amazingly simple. If I can do this, so can you. If you've made it all the way through to this point in the video, thank you. Thanks for watching. And here's a little bonus information on grafting. A major benefit for your trees when you graft them is pollination. Apples and pears need cross-pollination from a different tree, a different variety. So instead of planting 4 different apple trees, 4 varieties, that one tree has everything it needs, different varieties, right in the same tree. You'll have better fruit set, you'll have more fruit, and the different varieties can ripen throughout the season at different times. If you have any grafting tips or tricks, drop them in the comments section down here. We'll make this video a grafting resource. And don't forget to look at the description of this video. I have links and other resources there. And remember, gardening is serious business. Also in the description of this video is my Redbubble link. You can get your own serious garden business shirt. I've got a lot of garden humor designs on that Redbubble site. Check it out. You might find something you like. Grafting is one of the most powerful tools you can add to your garden toolbox. It's a skill worth learning. Grafting saves space, money, and other resources. And it might just let you have that orchard, an orchard on one tree. If you're pruning your fruit trees this winter, save some of the trimmings. Use it for scion wood. Try grafting. If I can graft, you can graft. I'm no expert at this. It's easy. I hope to see you next time at the Windmill Garden.